Hey everybody, welcome to part 4 of the two loaded Kennedys. This is the remainder of what was in the bottom rollaway of the second Kennedy toolbox setup that I had bought. Just a quick note to my regular viewers, I have switched back to the GoPro, even though the GoPro's got a defect on the lens that's causing a little foggy area there. Because I've been having a problem with my last few videos I posted. Some strange flashing artifacts and lines in the video, and it's not the camera, because the video, when I transfer the video from the card on the camera to the desktop, all that video is fine, but when I take that video and I import it into Apple iMovie, and then actually at that point it still looks okay, but then when I do all my editing and output the video to a final video, which is what I end up uploading to YouTube, that's when something weird is happening. I've been noticing it seems like the Mac has been acting strangely, and it's having trouble processing video. So I noticed that whenever I import videos into iMovie, that it takes a long time for iMovie to optimize video clips from... I've been running this Nikon SLR in video mode. That's what I've been shooting all my video with, because it's been really doing a good job. This is an Coolpix L830. This also, I managed to do a tiny bit of damage to the lens on this also, but this has been really doing a good job for me lately. Seems like people are liking the high definition and everything. Unfortunately though, the video file sizes are a lot larger, so it takes a lot more processing power and time to optimize those videos for iMovie for editing. This is going to be a lot quicker, and since it's easier to digest, so to speak, for the Mac, I'm hoping that maybe this is going to be a temporary fix for my strange artifacts and videos problem until I can get a replacement desktop. I've got one that I'm putting together right now, and hopefully that desktop, it's going to be a Windows-based desktop, so we're probably going to have to go back to iMovie temporarily. Not iMovie, sorry. iMovie is the Apple. What's Movie Maker, or whatever the newest version of the Windows-based movie video editing software suite is. Alright, enough of that. Let's jump right in. Sorry to take so much time, but I just figured I'd explain why we're going back to the GoPro. Alright, we got a couple of collets here. These are like these step collets. Alright, 5C. Boy, that's a heavy, solid collet. No name on it. But I'll keep that one, and here's another one here. I don't have any like this. So, a couple of good collets. Another hammer. Looks like a Lixie by the shape of the handle. It is. There we go. Lixie. General protractor. Number 17. I've had a few of these. This one has the original little plastic pouch. This says it's a Niagara cutter, high speed end mill. Yeah, I believe that's what that actually said it is. 1.5 by 3/4 by 1.25 by 3.5. Piece of aluminum stock. Several files. 3 of these are marked K and F Brazil, spelt Brasil. But this one's a Nicholson. And then we got a file handle, no file in it. A whole bag of roll pins, 100 pack of roll pins, 1/4 by 3/4. A torque wrench. This is a snap-on. This is an early snap-on by the looks of it. Torque meter, torque wrench. Looks like it's 0 to 24 inch-pounds, or 0 to or 0 to 384 inch ounces, which I'm not even familiar with that unit of measure for torque. It's got a little socket on it right now, but so this is a it's the hand torque driver. There's a replacement cap for a hammer, pair, black and red. A box of small files, brown and sharp box top, but without taking the tape off, we'll never know what it was for. Lufkin 16-foot tape measure, air nozzle, leads, banana, 90-degree banana to straight banana jumper wires. Well, there's a hammer that looks like maybe these might even, well, no, maybe not. What makes this? It's a Stanley. Contract shear. And DXA. Some brass shim stock, or some thin brass. And this is real, this is like shim stock. This is pretty thick. A couple more files. We got a brand new unused hacksaw blade, Atkins, like the Diet. Files, little wire brushes. Here's a cute little hammer there. It's got a brass insert on this side and a plastic insert on this side. These unscrew. That's neat. Huh. Not familiar with this kind of a hammer. It's K&D is what it says here. K&D hammer. The handle doesn't look like it might. That might be the right handle. I don't know. It's a little interesting hammer. K&D. This looks like a, I don't know what that is. Scribe, maybe? Couple of long rods. Well, I guess that's hex stock, right? Hexagonal long rods. A reamer with a T handle on it. Almost like a bridge reamer, but it's not. And there's another one, same style, only with a regular handle on it. This is a General 131 General tool, and a ball peen hammer made by Sasco, made in the USA. And an old school flashlight, incandescent bulb, and actually still lights, still has life in it. It's sad, but nobody wants these anymore. Until they get old enough to be collectible, that is. Alright. More assorted scissors. Kloss, USA. Chinese. Taiwan. Made in Taiwan. Crap. Here's a nice Bondus set. Fractional. Complete. And here's another one. Of course. Missing one. Gonna be a needle in a haystack. We'll set that aside and see if it shows up. We got a lot of Exolite branded hex drivers, hex handle drivers here, various sizes. Well, that's hard to see, but that's an old Bondus, as is probably that. Yep. There's some Weeha Torques. Those are nice. More Exolite and Bondus. There's a little short Exolite nut driver. as is that one. These usually came in a set. These, I believe, are Exolite Allen wrenches that came. Usually, these came in a set with a handle that these would plug into. So you get one handle, and you just plug in a whole bunch of these, different sizes. Boy, this guy really had a lot of. Look at that really little tiny one there. That tiny thing is a Bondus. Here's another deburring tool, but this is a Noga. And let's see. Yep, one extra in the back. It's a nice deburr. So this is a pin vise set, SPI. And looks like that fell out of there. Yep. So that looks like that's a complete set of 4. It's funny, that's... Oh, that originally, I guess, had a snap that ripped out. And then there's another one. This is same thing. Oh, that one's missing one, so we'll set that aside. Hopefully that's in the bottom of the box somewhere. What do we got here? This is a needle file set. No name. Ah, these. Well, this looks like a stop for a collet stop. And since it's in the box with here, I'm assuming this is maybe like another collet stop that somebody made. I wonder if that fits that other collet stop I had the other day, part 3. So here's the hard-hinge collet stop that I had. Alright, here's that hard-hinge collet stop. Let's see. Now, I remember in part 3 when I found this, I was thinking to myself, this looks like, you know, obviously this is the original hard-hinge collet stop, but this looks like a homemade or shop-made rod for it, and it was extra long. And now it would make perfect sense to me that that this right here might be the original rod for this, and that this is the imposter. So, yeah, there we go. All right, great. So I'll keep all that together. An X-Acto knife blade in here, nothing else really. Get excited about. This is a box top for, yeah, an SF190 with fine adjustment screw, jack screw complete. We'll get to that in a moment. Let's see what's in here though. Oh yeah. So these are tiny carbide drills. I mean real tiny. This one here is a 1mm carbide micro drill. So that, believe it or not, ladies and gentlemen, is a drill. Must be for drilling really thin material too. The 140-degree right hand. Quarter-inch 20 taps. Green. Oh, one missing. But the other 2 are in there and they look brand new, unused. Another file handle, and now we've got some Starrett. That's an O-ring. But anyways, this is like the Little Giant screw jack set, or is it Little Giant, or whatever the heck they call it. But that's what this is. This looks brand new. Earlier on, I think I found one of these sets, right? And there was an extra one of these, I believe. So let's see what we've got here for a set. We've got 2 bottoms. 2 of those. 2 of those. 2 of those. 2 of those. Only 1 large one. And I know the extra one that I found before wasn't a large one. It was one like this size. So unless I find another one of these somewhere, then I would say I have 1 complete set and 1 incomplete set. So dump this so we can get the lid for this. SF190. And yeah, SF190, same thing. So here's the lid for this other set, even though that's missing 1 piece here. So just looking through this hardware that's in here, I see some screws, nuts, bolts, brass fitting. Oh, little tiny hex piece of hex brass stock. That's nice. But I kind of hate this kind of stuff because it's like I just don't know what to. I never get the time to. I don't really have the time to sit and sort through it all. So it ends up being like, well, I don't throw it out, obviously. So what happens? End up just piling it up in drawers and containers and boxes. All right, so I was able to solve the mystery on the difference between a S190, which is this is the first little giant set that I ever acquired, and I remember I got this at an auction. This was inside of a file cabinet full of a bunch of junk that was passed. There was no opening bid on it, so I went up to the auctioneer at the end of the auction and I got the whole cabinet with contents for dirt cheap. And then I even asked if I could just take the contents out and leave the cabinet because I didn't want an old file cabinet. So this has got the large extension, these 2 attachments, which this attachment is so you can put the base on a cylindrical piece, then the shorter attachment, and then the screw jack itself, and it's got the rod, but it doesn't have the second screw that goes in here with a point on it. So that's what this set's missing. And this is the straight S190. This is the pointed attachment that's missing from this one. But this and this screw jack actually, and this is the 1-inch extension that was an orphan from this last Kennedy box set. These, I'll just keep them, sell just those pieces. All of these individual pieces have their own part number, can be purchased separately, but you can imagine the nickel and dime you on the cost of those. This is from earlier in this very same Kennedy set. This is a almost complete set. It's got this attachment. Okay, that's for being able to have the base supported on a non-flat surface, according to the catalog. But it's missing the piece that lets you support this on a cylindrical base. So what I was able to find out about the F for SF, the difference between the two is the SF is a fine thread. So there you go, you can see it. I didn't notice it at first, now it's obvious. So this is an S, and this is the SF. So I just want to double check and make sure that these are both fine. Yeah, it looks like it. Yep. All right. Well, let's dive right into the next grouping. Oh, look at this. Is a 22-3550 made in Taiwan. Oh, this smacks of quality. Oh yeah. Jeweler's screwdriver set, a cheap one. Precision screwdriver is what they're calling them here. You know, actually, I thought for a second there this one was a broken one somebody had put back in here, but it's actually a magnet. A very weak one. But then again, you're trying to pick up very tiny screws, so that'll work just fine for that. That is, yeah, that's going to be probably... I'm at this point now where I'm trying to give the boys some of these items so that they can work on their RCs. What drives me nuts is the boys keep losing the stuff. I gave my 14-year-old a little Craftsman set that had, you know, like a ratchet like this and all the sockets and everything in it, and a ratcheting like nut driver attachment, and now he's just got like the plastic case and he uses it to hold all miscellaneous screws and parts and everything, because he's pretty much lost just about every piece from the set. But I was like that, I guess, at one point. Difference is my dad wasn't giving me the tools. I was losing his tools on him. Craftsman 3/8 nut ratchet. Seems pretty good. There are a lot of these that don't really sound the way they should sound. And I know you can rebuild these, yada yada yada. Just, yeah, I don't care. When it stops working, I'm going to junk it. But this one seems to be working fine. We have one of these little magnifiers with a built-in light. Actually, there's still batteries in it and it still works. No, I'll keep that nearby. It'll be handy. This is a Stanley utility knife. Oh, here's some more of these. Unusual little scraper. Red Devil. So I think that's a paint scraper. Looks like a Deming drill bit. Well, that's a pretty heavy one there. I wonder if that's a... I think it's just heavy because of the size. 3/4 by 3/4, 2 flute. This looks like this is all going to be end mills in here for the most part. Well, there's a nice little Plato Products replaceable needle system. This is a precision applicator for liquids. This reminds me of, lately I've been binge watching Robin Renzetti's channel. The guy is very knowledgeable. Matter of fact, I just feel dumber every time I watch his episodes. So, anyways, you know, I kept hearing other guys like, forgot his name over there, Gustav or whatever his name is there. Apologize for not knowing the name off the top of my head. Famous YouTube machinist, and then of course Tom Lipton from Ox Tools mentions him. So I decided to go in search of his channel and watch his videos, and realized why these guys all mention him. So if you haven't checked it out, check out Robin Renzetti's channel. Alright. There's the bottom of the Starrett box, and it's, oddly enough, it's not the bottom to this lid. This lid is for a Wiggler, a center finder with shank and point. Oh, I think I've got one of these without a box. So if we can find a bottom box for this top, we can put that in a box. That's a nozzle for an air gun. Captive nut. And just a fitting. The rest of this is, yeah, this is all going to be various end mills, so I'm not going to bore you with that. I just dumped out this box. There's another lid for another 827A edge finder, and there's another stone. Another end mill. Whole bunch of Allen wrenches. Oh, there we go. These are replacement tips for a deburring tool. I'm not sure if these are like generic that will fit all different brands, or if they're for a particular type. A couple different sizes in there. Oh, some more of these Bondus Allen hex head drivers. Ooh, these are really small. Was a double-ended end mill. One side's broken off. One side still looks good. And there's another one of these nut drivers to go in a X-Lite handle, which I don't think I found the handle yet. Maybe never will. And a micrometer wrench. Oh yeah, and then there's this here, which nearest I can figure is some thin shim stock. Almost there. There's another stone. Snap ring pliers. These are mill bar 4450Rs. Judging from the fact that every hand tool I found in this thing has been a higher end, I would say that that's probably not a very cheap set. It's probably pretty decent. Looks like it's got some more tips in there, and judging from the fact that these are open and these are closed, I'd say they're inside and outside. Alright, so I'll keep those. An inspection mirror. Good for if you've got an indicator in the mill and you're trying to see the back side of the indicator or whatever. So this is a pouch with 1, 2, 3, 4 sizes of apparently tweezers, and what is this? Is that a tweezer? Yeah, 5. Stainless steel tweezer 5-piece combo, MSC. Ow! I just got stabbed with the ends of those. Oh, those are wicked sharp. X-Lite 170Ms. Nice shape. CHP quality hand tools made in Italy. I'm not familiar with that particular brand. Ergo. Banco. Also not familiar with these. Spring-loaded dikes. Obaco. B-A-H-C-O. I wonder where these are made. They feel nice. These I recognize. These are X-Lite. These say Japan style WLXY tools. WLXY? Master Force. Well, those have an interesting action to them. Some good hand tools there. Well, last 4 items, guys. The Chapman Manufacturing Company of Durham, Connecticut, kit number 6320 metric. Well, that was a big build up to not much of anything to get excited about. What is this, a Torx drive set? No. Metric hex drive. I'll tell you what is interesting about it is the the little knurled ends on here. Huh. Chapman. Wonder if this is ratcheting. Nope, it's fixed. Alright. I don't know what the don't know what the big deal about this set would be. Other than apparently made in the USA. Maybe. Let's see what this says. Chapman Manufacturing Company of Durham, Connecticut. A Chapman tool. But it doesn't say made in the USA, so that means that it could be made overseas and just distributed by Chapman Tool of Durham, Connecticut. Mitotoyo. Well, the case says it's a 505-666. Sign of the beast. And it is, and the yellow face tells me that it's probably going to be metric. And it is. So, a little bit harder to sell these because they're metric. I think the last set of these I sold a while back. I think I got like 25 or 30 bucks for them. Might have been more, I don't remember. Oh, made in the USA. Hey. Huh. Too bad there's some surface rust on them. Telescopic gauge set. I wonder if these are brown and sharp. So this is actually pretty hilarious. They actually still work even though they got a little bit of surface rust on them. But what's hilarious about it to me is that these are marked made in the USA on the pouch on the back. I mean on the front. They're completely the pouch is unmarked anywhere else, and there appears to be no marking anywhere on the tools themselves. Bad enough that they're devalued by the fact that they've got surface rust on them now. Got the added issue of not knowing who the heck makes the things. Let me see if this part number does anything for me. 5A179. Well, okay. Looks like I'm not going to solve the mystery. That part number 5A179 that's printed on here is no road map. Most of the brown and sharp sets have a dark blue case. Starrett ones and SPI and Mitotoyo all tend to have red or reddish cases. The only light blue cases I could find were Fowler, and the interesting thing is the shape of the front flap here like this is identical. So this sure looks like a Fowler set to me, even though it's not marked anywhere on these parts here. But the fact that it's made in the USA, I think this might be a Fowler gauge set. I don't know what this crud is all over the outside. And here is the final item. NSK, Japanese Micrometer Manufacturing Company, Fowler 52-225-005, 0 to 3 inch with a 2.5 inch base. Sounds like a depth micrometer to me, folks. That's what it is. And yeah, we got one rod in there, and there's 2 rods there, so 3 rods. So that would be a 0 to 3. Looks like it's in nice shape too. Alright guys, that brings the 2 loaded Kennedys to a conclusion. I hope you enjoyed this series of videos, and there's plenty more to come. And of course we're going to still do our other stuff. We've got plenty of things on the horizon here as far as work to be done. So I appreciate you tuning in. If you're not a subscriber, please consider subscribing. And till next time, take care.